Hey there, Adam here. Thanks for checking out another haul video. This is going to be kind of interesting because recently I discovered an antique store in an adjacent town. I went over there, got to know the owner, talked about a lot of different things, and one of the topics, of course, that came up was, do you have any VHS tapes? Because I bought a couple from him. And he said, I got a whole box of them. I want to bring them over. I want you to see them. I'm going to bring them to the store. Check them out. So I did. And maybe a little disappointing. Not exactly the kind of stuff I was looking for. I mean, he did have a copy of A Nightmare on Elm Street, but this is kind of a later release. I actually have the original releases just right here. So for me, it wasn't something that was like, I don't need it, but it's fun to have, I guess. And then I noticed a lot of stuff that I don't usually pick up. So I thought this would be an interesting thing to share because haul videos usually are full of excitement and enthusiasm, and the world of VHS collecting, sometimes you get some duds or just some stuff you've seen plenty of, like for example, Shag the movie. Okay, it's a fine film, I'm sure. I have an original release though. I don't need this collection edition here. What do they call it? Movie Time, MGM Movie Time, or Vintage Classic Series. Some like it hot. I have a whole Marilyn Monroe CBS Fox series that is included in. So that version of it, maybe it's a better transfer. Who knows? Joe versus the Volcano. I will say I don't think I have a copy of this, but it's this hits WB hits, and I don't really like that label on there because what the original releases, how they were brought to you, like, oh, the selections from 20th Century Fox with my cousin Vinny. Now I have a cut box version of this, so maybe I do want to keep this because it's like, hey, it's a little bit nicer, it fits on the shelf better. Maximum Risk. Nothing wrong with this tape except that I already have a copy back here, so that's a double. Anybody need a copy of Maximum Risk to complete your Van Damme collection? Here's one for you. Risky Business. I actually have a clamshell version of this, an old Warner Brothers clamshell. So again, that's part of the Warner Brothers hits collection that I don't necessarily need to take up space on my shelf. But what about this? Ooh, the Premiere series. Yes, that release of Speed. So many of those. Huge hit. They want to keep cranking it out for people who forgot to buy a copy when it originally was released, I guess. How about The Omen? I have a CBS Fox release of this, so sorry, 20th Century Fox selections. You're not on my list. Snake Eyes. I just picked up a copy myself, so now I got 2 copies of Nicolas Cage in Snake Eyes. Who knows? Maybe I'll love it and want as many as I can get. This box was super beat up. This is Kevin Costner in No Way Out. I actually keep seeing this on the shelf and not picking it up, and this one's trashed. So guess what? It just went in the trash. That's how it goes sometimes. How about this, though? Mr. Mom. This is another one. I've seen plenty of copies of Mr. Mom and passed them up when they had this MGM Movie Time logo on them. I've got a more early release that works out better for me and my collecting. And Leaving Las Vegas, sticking with Cage here. Again, what is this one? Contemporary classics. They just want to keep giving you a different version, right? They're just like, oh, but see, it's part of this series now. Is it? Is it something we need? All right. And 2 more here that fall into that category. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Okay, I've got a copy. Don't need it. And The Haunting. Also have a copy. Also a pretty terrible movie. So I don't know if I want to see it again. There's nothing wrong with that particular edition. It's just kind of like a little warp to the box. So again, people sometimes have these VHS collections. They're like, oh, you're going to want this. I have so many movies. I bet you do. But are they movies that I'm interested in? Let's find out here. All right, this is where it's going to start getting interesting. We got plenty to go through. All right. A River Runs Through It. Sure it does. I've not seen it, and I've only heard good things, so maybe I'll love it. Something tells me I won't, however. Diabolique. I don't even think I've ever heard of this film. Sharon Stone, Chaz Palminteri, and Kathy Bates. That's actually an interesting cast. I may actually be interested in that. I'm used to Danger Diabolique from Mystery Science Theater 3000, that old 60s spy movie based on a comic strip. Total Recall 2070. Now, he really tried to push me on this. He's like, you're not going to find Total Recall 2070 anywhere else. I'm like, you're probably right, but I don't know if I was looking for it. Clockers. Now, this is a movie, like, there was Rounders and Clockers, and, I mean, it's just kind of funny. Who is this? John Turturro, Harvey Keitel, and Delroy Lindo. Well, again, good cast. That's what I like a lot of times in these movies I've never seen, is like, Is there enough interesting people that I know give good performances? Another 9.5 weeks with Mickey Rourke and then unfortunately Angie Everhart during her era of trying to be an actress. I don't know. Bordello of Blood didn't quite do it for me. But I do have the other 9.5 weeks. I got that recently with Kim Basinger. It's so odd that they would do it again, but okay. I know it was kind of a sleeper hit. How about this one here? A Kiss for the Dying? A Kiss? Oh, Kiss Before Dying. Either way, this one is Matt Dillon and Sean Young. I gotta say, I do want to understand the career of Sean Young more, so this is of interest to me. It looks like some sort of thriller, you know. Along with this one, though, I've heard of this. Dressed to Kill. Yeah, so we have a De Palma film here, and also Raising Cain. Okay, so I don't mind having a double shot of some De Palma thrillers. I think I'll enjoy that quite a bit. They're a little dusty. I don't know if you saw that dust might fly through the air. All right, let's see what else we got. The Bone Collector, Denzel and Angelina. Again, heard of it, never seen it. That's a special edition, though, from Universal. Ooh. The Getaway with Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger back when they were married. I feel like this is making a great connection, double feature, I guess. I feel it's connected in my mind to the Cindy Crawford film Fair Game. So I might do a double feature on that. Copycat. Okay, there's another one I've heard of. Sigourney Weaver in a thriller. And let's see what we have here. What's Love Got to Do with It? I recently just found a Tina Turner album, the one that contained that song, that full LP vinyl record. I've always wanted to see this one because I know Angela Bassett was very lauded for it. Now, this is one that is part of the 20th Century Fox Selections collection, but rapid fire, I want to see a Brandon Lee film. I have a, Showdown in Little Tokyo and a couple others, was, of course, The Crow. So I'm very curious to see his action movie work. All right. Come on. There's so many tapes here. This is another premiere series, Men of Honor with De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr. I don't know if military films are for me. But again, Cuba's pretty fun sometimes. Boys Don't Cry. This one's rough. I know about this one, right? It's an Academy Award-winning performance, I think, for Hilary Swank. It's intense, though. City of Angels, get back to Nicolas Cage, you just can't get away. We all know the song from it here. It has the soundtrack here listed, reminding you the great song that's on there. Our Mother's Murder. And this is really odd. I don't know about this movie at all, but this is actually a screener tape. They're trying to get people's attention. Let's see. Okay, so we got Get Shorty. I saw the sequel in theaters with The Rock. That was a lot of fun. Just Cause. Again, another collection here. I've been fascinated by the Sean Connery films that were essentially not hits. All of his misses, Outland and all these different movies I've been picking up lately. The Presidio, I think, is another one. I'm just curious to know what he was doing there. This one is almost still sealed. This is called Reflections in the Dark. I think it actually, what does it say here? Yeah, 1995 theatrical release. So I don't know if they're saying that's the edition or they're just like, this was released in theaters. It's a legitimate movie. Check it out. I was like, take your word for it. It won some award. Let's see what else here. I might have to do 2 videos. Stranger in the Night. Okay, this is another one I'm not aware of, but Jennifer Rubin. Yes, Jennifer Rubin from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. That'll get a ticket bought for me. I want to see Jennifer Rubin movies. Set It Off. I definitely remember this with Queen Latifah and the whole crew back in the day. New Jack City. This is another one I've always heard about and never seen. So I'm excited to actually finally get a copy of that one. That was a good find. The Blue Lagoon. The thing is, I just got an RCA Columbia edition of The Blue Lagoon. So like the original video release or one of the earliest. So I'd be curious to see. Maybe there's a difference in that. Brooke Shields. All right, this was a fun find, though. Finally getting to some stuff that I'm excited about. Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. This is another one where I have a cut box copy, and I'm excited to have a nice, slipcase version, pretty early release. My friend's dad is actually the bad guy professor, the British guy in this movie. So yes, I went over to that guy's house many times in my high school days. Yes, so anyway, let's keep going here. Booty call! Hey! Because why not? Booty call is a good time. The Brady Bunch movie, this is like the third copy of this movie that I now own, and I have a screener copy of it that's still sealed. I don't know why the Brady Bunch follows me, but I do love it. The Crush, I also already have this. This might be a nicer copy of it, but can you really get enough Alicia Silverstone? I mean, she's so great, especially in that era, right? The Aerosmith music video era. Let's see a couple more here. Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow. I do like this, that you can flip it, right? Oh, which Gwyneth Paltrow are we talking about? This was fun. Madonna, Who's That Girl? During this era, right, Suddenly Seeking Susan and all that stuff where she started getting into movies and she's looking like Marilyn Monroe. It's kind of a different Madonna than we're used to. I know her from A League of Their Own. Yep, that was in the mix too. I actually just sold a sealed copy of this on eBay, so I was excited to get an actual copy to watch. Now, this was one I was interested in because I just don't remember it, but Money for Nothing. So I don't know what this is about, a John Cusack film. Very curious to see what the story is there. This is one I already have, The Great Outdoors, but this might be an earlier release. This is an MCA home video release, so that's one that I will have to look in my collection and see the comparison there. David Spade in Lost and Found. I remember actually liking this movie. This is one of the first like non-Farley teamed movies he did, and I actually thought it was pretty good. So I'm excited to have that one now. Look Who's Talking Now. This is actually good because I have it, but it had like some price weird stickers on it, so I'm excited to get a slightly more clean copy. And then we have Too Young to Die with Brad Pitt. Now, Never Too Young to Die is a very different movie with John Stamos and Gene Simmons, so I would love to pair these two together and see how the watching goes. All right, we gotta hurry through here. There's so much to get through. Look at this one, though. You don't see this very often. Big Bully. That's right, Tom Arnold. Oh, and our beloved Rick Moranis. I've heard it's a crap film and kind of weird, but still interested to watch it. Crossroads. This is another one I've been passing up a lot. But what interested me is it's an Albertsons supermarket former rental. So that's pretty neat. I like that a lot. And I'll find out how Brittany does as an actress. Here we go. Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo. Never seen it. Heard this first one's pretty okay. So I'm interested to check it out. We'll see. Maybe it hasn't aged well. This is another one. There's Something About Mary. I know this was a huge hit. I know many of the quotes. Never seen it. Only seen the PG-13 Farrelly Brothers movies. So I'll check that one out. We had Angelina earlier. Here she is in Girl Interrupted. I know this is a very big deal. Yeah, it won a 1999 Academy Award for Angelina Jolie. So pretty sweet. All right. Home stretch. 40 days and 40 nights. Whatever happened to Josh Hartnett? That's my question. He was on the rise and then he was gone. The Pallbearer. That's right. This is interesting. I didn't know Gwyneth Paltrow was in this movie. I remember David Schwimmer being like in this movie because they're all the friends making movies. The Good Girl, Jennifer Aniston. I mean, it was just, there was that era, right, where they were hot. Wag the Dog. Again, heard of it, never seen it. Yep, nothing special about that tape. Sister Act. Have it. Maybe this is a slightly different copy. There were so many releases of Sister Act. Is very popular. All right, let's keep going. Keep it going. All right, this is one that has followed me everywhere. Every video, shelf I go to in a thrift store has like 2 or 3 copies of Blue Steel. If I could get an original release, I'd probably take it home, but it's always this movie time release. Now, Boomerang is not one I come across very often. I've got quite a few Eddie Murphy films, so I'm curious to see one of his lesser works, some people might say. Fried Green Tomatoes. Yeah, it's great. I've actually seen scenes from this film performed on stage, but I have not seen the movie. I'll check it out. Simply Irresistible. This is just to get my wife to watch a VHS tape with me. I'm pretty sure she likes this movie. All right. This was a weird one. Michael Douglas and Albert Brooks in The In-Laws. Know nothing about it. An adult comedy, I'm going to assume, but Albert Brooks, he's got a good track record. Now this one, Michael Caine, Sally Field, okay, and Steve Guttenberg, Surrender. Surrender. I've never heard of this movie before. That was an interesting find for me, just for the obscurity of it all. Finally, there were two double tapes. We have Ben-Hur and American Beauty. I don't think you can get two different films, but American Beauty, I don't know that it has aged well. I think a lot of people look back on it now and say, why did that win all these Academy Awards? But I've never seen it. Kind of curious. All right, last thing here. In addition to all these tapes, some good, some not so interesting, there were plenty of sealed VHS tapes in there. Like a sealed copy of The Firm with Tom Cruise. All right. You didn't want to open that up and see what Tom was up to? How about a sealed copy of Sergeant Bilko with Steve Martin? Again, maybe one of his lesser works. Antitrust, still sealed. I think I don't blame them for leaving this one sealed, but maybe it's rare. Maybe nobody bought that. We'll find out. And finally, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. There's got to be some 90s horror fans out there excited to find a still sealed copy of this. I will make it available to you on eBay. But those of you who chose to stick around to the end to get to that reveal, thank you so much for checking out these videos. More to come. I've got quite a few hauls on the way. They are in the pipeline. People are sending me supplies. Where am I going to put them all? Time will tell. But hey, until next time, we'll check you later. Keep press and play on that VCR.